First thoughts, July 28th, 2015. In the last week, I've tried to educate my fellow parents in how to identify if your child's using by going either through their phones, going through the rooms, knowing what to look for, and the conversations that you might hear. I think that today I need to speak about what we're fighting. It starts out usually with opiates, and the majority of the time it's hours. You know, you pull your back out, you take a couple of them, and you're like, I'm constipated. They make my arms itch. I'm not going to take any more, and you leave them in the medicine cabinet. Okay, check those things. A lot of times, kids will go find a generic aspirin or Tylenol that looks very similar and replace them. Okay, so you gotta be careful. You know, if you're not using them, I don't dump them down the drain. I know that's not right anymore. Take them back to the pharmacy and ask them to dispose of it. They'll know what to do. I'm sorry, CVS, if you don't like this shit, but that's the way it's going to be. All right, because they get that, and you know, the reason that we get itchy, and you know, sometimes even codeine has given me a headache. Is because that a mature brain of 25 or older is resistant to the opiate receptors that this artificial morphine puts on the molecules in your brain cells. Okay, so it in turn makes your body, every cell, crave. Okay, and yen for more. All right, so it's a very difficult urge to fight when it's, you know, you're talking about the cell on the tip of your nose hurts because it wants some, right down to your liver, you know, and that's horrible. The opiates, they come in different things. They can be Loracets, Percocets, Vicodin. There's liquid codeine. There is Tylenol 3 with codeine. All these are different strengths and derivatives of artificial morphine. What they will do is some of them are the most popular being a 30, which is 30 milligram Percocet. And what they do is it's a time release for people dying of cancer or going through chemo, or, you know, anybody that's in serious pain. Okay, and they vomit a lot, so they are time release, so you only have to take one pill and it'll release the pain. They're not even painkillers. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'll get to that in a second. But it releases it, and you know, every 2 hours or so it releases another dose, where the kids now crush it and snort it, getting it all at once. Now these come with the strengths of 80. Okay, I had my shoulder replaced last year, and I got 5s, Vicodin 5s, and let me tell you what, that one of those and I was goofy. So, you know, 80 all at once, and snorted it, so it gets to the brain like that. You know, it's sad, but then what happens is they are expensive, and you'll start to see things missing around your house. You know, they never have gas money, and things are, you're just like, what are you spending your money on? And they will take whatever they can get their hands on. If your child all of a sudden has a interest in scrapping, okay, that's a good indicator. Not all people. Listen, this is just what I have observed. If they want to scrap metal and they taking things from around the yard and asking to borrow the truck and such, something's up. 9 out of 10 times, something's up. The heroin is much cheaper than the opiates, and Usually that's what happens when people put their foot down or there's nothing left to sell. They switch to heroin. Heroin in this area comes in brown or white powder that the kids sniff. Um, it also comes in a black sticky glob, and that's called black tar heroin. If you see that, you're probably going to find some syringes because that is you can't snort that stuff. When they're snorting, you got a 50-50 shot. I'm going to tell you right now, you got a 50-50 shot of ever getting them back. Yeah, that's a frightening statistic, but the next one's even worse. If they are taking it intravenously, there is a 20% chance. 1 in 5. 20%. You as a parent, you're petrified, and the scenarios that go through your mind at times when they're small, and you just get that, every parent's had it, where you get this overwhelming sense of dread. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so responsible for this person. What happens if something happens? And then everybody's afraid because you see constant memes and crowdfunding things for children with cancers. And you just imagine if you're at Children's Hospital and the doctor comes out and says, your child has cancer and there's a 20% chance they're going to live. So doesn't mean there's still 1 in 5 that come back from it. So you can't give up. You can't give up. You have to push forward and love your child. When they take in the heroin, it's transformed in the brain to morphine. There it is again, morphine. Started out to help our troops back in World War I, World War II. I'm not sure which one, but it was there to help guys that were injured on the field, so they were immediately out of pain. I'll post this later. I have to find it again, but I Googled this and I found out that as far as pain relief, the most powerful drug on the market for pain relief is ibuprofen. Okay, ibuprofen, and that is an analgesic, I believe, and what it does is an anti-inflammatory as well. And what it does is it is the strongest pain relief there is. The next stages of Tylenol 3 with codeine and the Percocets and the Loracets and all those other sets, okay, it's pain disassociation. Okay, the pain's still there, you just don't give a shit about it. Okay, so right there it tells you, you can't do this. You can't allow your child to be given an opiate because they broke their arm. Hey, nobody wants to see their kid in pain. Okay, but a broken arm, that's good old American fun. I broke my arm when I was a kid. No big deal. I got just prescribed aspirin. And I sit here in front of you, not addicted to the damn thing. Well, maybe Twinkies, but that's different. And I really, if your kid gets hurt this summer, please, unless they are muffed up, like hit by a car or something, and they're in a hospital bed, then you let the doctors do whatever they got to do. But if they put a cast on your kid's arm and they write you a script for any opiate, just crumble it up and throw it away. Give your sick kid some ibuprofen, lots of fluids, and keep them occupied. You might have to spend time with them. Okay? You'll be thankful when it's all over. Read him a story. He'll forget about the pain. That's also disassociation of pain. Don't let a pill do the parenting for you. Because if it takes hold, you're gonna pray for a minute, a month of clarity to where you could talk to your child. Because most of the time they're effed up. You're not alone. I'm here. Reach out. Do something. Take a stand. Get our kids back. Don't sympathize with the dealers. Don't allow them to take your lives. Pedophiles, I'm coming for you. I swear to God. Because that's what you are, nothing but pedophiles. Stealing our children. Stealing their future. Love your kids. Don't love them into the grave. Take a stand. Take your kids back. Mask optional.